Hello, everyone. I hope that you are doing well. I'm very pleased and excited to welcome our guest, Mr. Ghazanfar Khan, to our today's session. This is a part of our industry expert interviews to gain from their knowledge and experiences for continuous learning of our students, alumni, and colleagues. I'm joined by my colleague, Mr. Atif Ahmed from BRASI. Before we begin, I would like to share just a glimpse of Ghazanfar's accomplishments right here on the slide. So as you can see, this is a series of our interview with our industry professionals, experts, our colleagues, just to chat with them and kind of pick their brains and try to learn from their experiences. Okay, so here's a little glimpse, just a glimpse of Ghazanfar's accomplishments as a professional. You can see that he has a quarter century of experience bringing expertise in different areas, uniquely, not just supply chain logistics, but also real estate solutions. Well, that's a combination that's rare to find. And long experience with Maersk Line's KSA, leading global container lines, one of the best in the world, and currently a CCO, Chief Commercial Officer at LogiPoint KSA, the kingdom's leading logistics real estate development company for economic zones and logistics parks. So see the unique combination of supply chain technology, the commercialization, the manufacturing, logistics, distribution, and as well as the infrastructure that supports the activity. That's a unique combination, I would say. And he has transformed the art of networking and building relationships within leading 3PL, third-party logistics, creating modern warehouses at the Jeddah Islamic Port, KSA, and expanding the LogiPoint into other cities as well. Driving innovative supply chains and logistics solutions, freight forwarding, land, sea, and air shipments with seamless transportation models and increased reliability. Build to demand and build to suit, standardized real estate solutions, highly successful new business ventures, operations, and strategic alliances, knowledge of global trade networks, and work with global customers, offering them a viable logistics solutions, build credibility and delivered through focused initiatives while directing cross-functional teams using interactive leadership. So that's really awe-inspiring, I would say. And here are myself and my colleague, Atif. So I'm Executive Director at BRASI USA, and Atif Ahmed, CEO, Supply Chain Rights in Pakistan. So welcome, Ghazanfar. Really appreciate you taking out the time today for the sake of our peers and colleagues, education and awareness of this amazing body of knowledge called supply chain management. And we all just saw that what unique angle you bring to it is the infrastructure that supports the supply chains, and they're so crucial for its efficiency, efficacy, and future development. And Atif, thank you for being with us today. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you. Thank you, Aftab Saab and Atif. It's a real pleasure to join you on this wonderful platform. I know Atif for more than 20 years, for around 20 years now. Yeah. And it's been a very pleasant affiliation with Atif. And I've been following BRASI and some of the wonderful work you are doing for the supply chain professionals. I mean, yes, the supply chain majors are offered in many universities, but of course, then the practical knowledge of it, and then how you should apply it in your daily life when you are working as a supply chain professional. So there, I think that you and Atif has contributed significantly for all the professionals, and it's my pleasure to be invited by you on this platform. So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's our humble service to share our industry experience and learning. I've been around for like so many years working with major corporations, and the least we can do is to share and train our colleagues like you are. Your contribution is amazing that you really take out time for those activities. Atif is fully involved in that, and he teaches at university level and also certification courses.
which is very nice.
Yeah,
See once again that engaging with the fresh minds
yeah,
in the universities is always open a new door for you.
right.
It always gives you something new, and especially once you are engaging in the at the semester end with the different projects, and then
Right.
you during the
Exactly.
presentation, once you hear their perspective,
Yeah,
so sometimes despite having all the experience and everything, there are always area which you can appreciate the students that how they have came up with that perspective, and the feasibility of it as well. It's not only that that this is a new perspective, it's only that how they are going to execute it.
Exactly.
yeah,
So that's always
Correct.
wonderful, to engage with the young minds and hear from them that
absolutely.
what is their take.
Absolutely. And I think when we go to those forum and conferences faced with the students, their questions are unconstrained, free thinking.
Yeah.
While we kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
we our knowledge kind of push limits to what we can ask, but there's no limit there. Very challenging questions, very innovative and uh, frontier of knowledge. Absolutely.
And challenging the status quo, especially for the supply chain professionals,
Yes.
is always very interesting, and it's always very challenging as well.
Yeah. See, we have been around for some time. So look at how we used to operate like 20, 30 years ago with computers just coming into business. And then now today we are standing fully connected and the information and knowledge is on your fingertips. So, and the challenge becomes different. It's not now number crunching. It is now thinking beyond, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
did.
And this is
I rem I remember that 20 years ago when I got admission in MBA, because I was teaching us a specific logistic courses, third-party logistics. So you
Yeah.
just heard first time that
Yep.
what sort of courses this and what are the contents
Yeah.
specifically when you were serving the first line at that time. So purely practical knowledge he was delivering to us.
Absolutely.
Since then, I remember such those specific concepts, uh, 20
Great.
years
that
back.
that's great to know, Atif.
So if you're ready, I know everybody's time is limited. So if you're ready, may I
Sure.
ask you some questions and my colleagues will follow, Atif will follow. So with such a broad experience, which is, I will again repeat, that it is very unique to find infrastructure development as well as the supply chain flow. What are the most significant changes that you've seen in the two industries, supply chain management and construction industry, the real estate, I mean, sorry.
So basically, Aftab Saab, the thing is that during the last so many years, 25 years, what we have seen, that's first of all, the customer which you are dealing with has become increasingly knowledgeable now. The reason being that there has been a lot of technology and information available through different and various platforms, through social media, which has evolved completely the business world as well. So today, as compared to 25 years back, your customer is very knowledgeable. So that is why from transactional selling, either it's in container shipping or it's in real estate, the the conversations with the customer has moved from a transactional level to a very consultative selling sort of a thing. You are no more just a salesperson for the customer, but you are in a way a consultant to his business, that by using your services,
Mm.
how his business will benefit. It can be,
Yeah.
moving the container from point A to point B, or it could be, building a warehouse. If you just look at the container shipping today compared to 25 years back, we would see a number of players, at least 16 to 17 major players. But today, because of the alliances, because of the reduced or the challenging freight levels and the increasing cost for the shipping lines, there had been a lot of alliances. alliances, plus mergers and acquisitions. And today, in 2024, you can count the top shipping lines on your fingertips.
Okay.
There is MSC, there is MERS, there is CMA, there is Costco, there is Hapag-Lloyd. So there are 5, 6, 7, 8, global shipping lines which are serving the market. When it comes to the warehousing side, warehousing concept has evolved drastically during the last 20 years. Previously, a shed used to be considered a warehouse. But today you have grade A warehouses, you have grade B warehouses, you have grade C warehouses. You have very diversified line of warehousing which is also available. Then in the warehousing, there are segments as well. There are cold chains, there are temperature control, there are ventilated. And then, of course, there are distribution centers as well, which are also a form of warehousing. So the technology, the availability of information, the competition, and of course, the changing global political and economic environment has completely transformed these industries. Container shipping, once again, come back to it. Previously, the visibility didn't used to be there. The live tracking didn't used to be there. But now in today's world, you know on your fingertips, on your mobile, that where is your container and what is happening with it. You can watch what is happening in your warehouse through the live feed. So these 25 years is changes. Both the industries have transformed in a major manner.
What I can really, that's great feedback. And what I can pick from your response is that in the supply chain container shipping industry, a lot of consolidation has happened by merging major players, of course, based on efficiency, what industry can sustain. That's a big change that has happened to consolidate the industry in container lines. On the real estate side, warehousing especially, it's about segmentation based on technology and product needs, cold chain, ambient, and what the product calls for, and HACCP requirements, tracking, monitoring, cold chain alerts, something goes excursion,
Absolutely.
don't
Absolutely.
you get a signal like say technology based monitoring, and so all that must have helped in improving the efficiencies and cost savings, definitely, right?
Yes, absolutely. See, once again, today in today's world, the competition is so high, even for your customers' business, that cost is of utmost importance. That how
Yeah.
you are controlling your cost, or rather, how you are optimizing the cost.
Right.
And there you need the best solution from your service provider. It's
Definitely.
not that the cheapest product you are going to you are going to utilize, but it's more like that what is the product which is going to help you, especially serving your end customer, how it's going to assist you in overcoming or gaining a competitive advantage over your competitor.
Yeah.
And then once again, how it's going to help in continuing with the solution. Logistic
Yeah.
solutions, supply chain solutions, warehouse solutions, these are not the one you alter with every day.
No.
These are the ones who become the part of your long-term strategy.
Right.
That what sort of transportation career you are using, what sort of warehouse solution you are using. Is it a leased basis? Is it an owned basis? Is it on a short term? Is it on a long term?
Right.
And once again, which markets you are serving. So markets
Yeah.
also, you do not get into markets on a short-term basis. You mostly get into a market where you want to serve the consumer on a long-term basis.
Sure. Yeah. The integration that you have with these service providers is a long haul. You work with them, there's technology integration, you share information, you share strategy, like you just said. Your customers are your partners, and you are your customers' partners. So you help them grow, and so that's amazing the way things have changed. It's not an arm's length relationship. It is fully integrated, and that's how things evolved. Those are big changes that we are seeing. And absolutely, like you said, cost is not the cheapest tag on the product, it is the life cycle cost that you actually sustain throughout its on a long-term basis, sustainability.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much. And that brings me to the next question. What have been your one or two biggest challenging projects or most significant challenges that you have faced in your recent times?
Well, whether you call it fortunate or unfortunate, but we are in the logistics and supply chain, industry. So we come across new challenges with almost on everyday basis.
Yeah,
Sometimes these are because of our own teams, our own selves, or sometimes it's because of the external factors.
yeah.
So one of the things which I remember very clearly that during the not the early days when I had spent around 4 or 5 years in my shipping career, there used to be a lot of garments used to get exported from Pakistan, and at that time, Pakistan was the leading exporter of garments to the US. And I remember that the Christmas season was approaching, and our ship on its way to the US, there were some technical faults or operational issues in the ship, and the cargo got delayed. And the cargo belonged to one of the global retailers, one of the most well-known global retailers who used to work on with just-in-time concepts at the very early days of just-in-time concepts
Wow.
and with very minimum inventory levels. So for them, making sure that this cargo is getting delivered there on time and at least be there to take advantage of the peak Christmas pre-shopping season.
Right.
So at that time, we basically use the sea air model
Oh, okay.
where we hold the container at one of the hub ports. We de-stuffed the container, then we completed the documentation, and half of that container, half of the consignment was loaded via air, and the rest of the consignment continued with its usual journey to the US, and then uh, the consignment which was going there that through air so that it can reach there on time. So
Mhm.
it sounds very easy today, but I remember that during those days, I used to literally spend the time in the days and nights in office for almost a week, making sure that this cargo is reaching to its destination on time. And then, of course, getting to the stores for the Christmas season. The documentation, because at that time it was a very new concept. If you today ask any of the 3PL operators or freight forwarders or shipping line that you want to do sea, air, or air sea, it's like a very general thing. It's like a
Yep.
daily use thing.
Yep.
So, but at that time, it
Yep.
was a solution which was unheard of. And I
Right.
was very lucky that I was working with a company where customer focus and customer satisfaction is very high of importance. And then, of course, the second in my real estate career, logistics real estate career, we were working for one of the most well-renowned e-commerce player, and they needed a facility from us. It took us almost 2 years to finalize the contract uh,
Wow.
with the customer.
Mhm.
The reason being that there had been uh, so many things around the legal, around the infrastructure of the facility, and then of course around its sustainability that it
Okay.
took us almost 2 years to close the contract. It started right from a very small thing that what will be the power supply uh,
Mm.
for the facility, and there it's not always very easy to provide the required power supply. So arranging for that, getting regulatory approvals for that, and of course then arranging for something like rainwater
Oh,
when it
wow.
rains, that how that water will be draining out.
Okay.
So, Alhamdulillah, touch wood, the facility is now being constructed at a very fast pace and
Nice.
will be operational by next year in our Jeddah Islamic Port vicinity.
Sure.
But working with that customer and finalizing and waiting with every week that, okay, this is the week, then the deal will be done. But it wasn't the case. There were so many things which we had to go through the contract that which kept delaying. But by the end of the day, these are the details that you need to look for once you are building a world-class facility. So
Absolutely.
so basically, LogiPoint is the premium real estate player, logistics real estate player in the
Definitely.
Jeddah. So LogiPoint has the largest, when I say larger, I mean the largest facility at the Jeddah Islamic, around 1 million square meter,
Wow.
offering warehouses spaces from temperature controlled to cold chains to ambient, plus the industrial outdoor storages, which you say the open yards for
Right.
container storage for automotive storage. So, and these are offered on bonded and non-bonded basis.
Okay.
So being the one of the leading players over there, offering range of solutions when it comes to providing the customer with the right solution for the storage of their cargo. So there are a lot of aspects that you need to go through, and with the LogiPoint team, we have served some of the biggest customers, a globally renowned name, which we are currently serving.
Nice.
So
Wow.
once again, coming back to the question, that the challenges are almost happening on everyday basis, but
Right.
these are some of the challenges that or instances where I worked initially, and it stays here, and it might stay here forever.
Yeah, and like you said, in supply chain, there's never a dull moment. Everything, some new always happens. But the best thing is the outcome. In crisis, you discovered or invented or created a solution which is a split shipment between land and sea. And I mean, sea and air, right?
And see, I'm in such an industry, and not only the business of shipping, and not only the business of logistics, real estate. The the role of the teams which you are working are extremely critical.
Of
So
course.
I was very lucky that I always worked with the bosses who trusted the
Support
solution,
you. Yeah, yeah.
who supported
Yeah,
throughout, to give me the confidence to
confidence.
execute. And then I had the teams with
Yep,
my direct supervision, and
yep,
of course the cross-functional areas also, where the teams were, working together and working for the ultimate customer satisfaction. So then it becomes easier.
yep.
I
That
mean, as
sorry, that
as an individual, you can't
no.
do anything in today's world.
Well, that's your leadership because you had an idea, you got the approval from the people where it needed to be to move forward, and then put the team through and made that idea happen, right? So,
Absolutely.
and we can fully understand in those days to change the direction of a shipment, to make it split between the two modes of transportation, all the custom documentation, the approval. It's not that easy like online. Submit papers, get signatures, run from table to table. I can imagine how difficult that would have been.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you mentioned about the warehouse project. Definitely, it looks like you have thought through all the eventualities to make it like a long-term successful solution, rain drainage and all that, so that you're prepared for anything that might happen weather-wise, the way things are changing everywhere. So that again, like if you have a project of that nature, you cannot guarantee a certain time limit. Things have to be improved on continuous basis. And but when it comes to an end, then this is a project that we have really thought through. It has all the features and benefits that we can expect. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you so much. Atif, you would like to ask any questions from your side?
So my first question is, we see that you're such a man of building strong relationship with your team as well as leading 3PL providers, securing contract for especially warehouses at the Islamic world. Can you share some insights into your approach to networking and relationship building in the industry? basically?
See, building a network or building a relationship is very simple. Is I think it's the most simplest of the things that being a human being you can do. It starts right from your family, that what the values you have been provided, the sort of family, the sort of kids you have, the sort of partner you have, you know, you need to stay humble, you need to stay modest, you need to, pay attention to what your partner is saying, what your kids are saying. You need to give them the time and exactly, you need to apply the same things in business. You need to be a good listener. You need to stay humble. The day you think that you are the master of the universe and that you know everything and only your opinion matters, that is the day of any relationship, whether it's personal or it's business. One of the mistakes which I have seen, and I have been a salesman. I have been a salesman for the last 25 years, although and we all are salesmen in a way. Sometimes we are working for our household, for our families, and sometimes we are working for the business, but we all are in the business of selling, of building those networks. So, how strong is your network, your social circle, plus your business circle will guarantee that what sort of success you are going to have in your life. So, you need to stay humble. That is number one, whatever position you have achieved. Number two, you need to be a very good active listener. Not a good listener, but an active listener. That you know what are the signals the other person is giving to you. And then these are some of the basics. And then how you are going to support, especially your customer, when something goes wrong. In tough times, if you are standing with your customer, and when I say tough times, I mean that, when you have made a mistake in your operations or something has gone wrong with the customer, you need to have the guts that if the customer is shouting on you, if the customer is calling you at odd hours, you should be, you should make yourself available. That is number one. That is the basic. Be there when you are needed the most, whether it's your business or whether it's your home. You know, your network can never be broken. Then your network will only get stronger.
Mhm.
Most of the deals and most of the networks get affected. Number one, when you do not support in the tough times, that is number one. And when you do not follow up.
Mhm.
If a customer has an issue and you have resolved the issue, and if you are not following up on the solution provided and whether that solution can be used in the future, then your relationships, your trust level cannot be the same with your customer.
Wow.
And in a customer's organization, it's critical that you have relationship, you have penetration at multiple levels. Today, I know customers where the booking supervisors are now, leading the organizations or at decision making positions. Some of my customers, the high officials, have moved to other organizations just like me. But I always keep in touch somehow. 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Drop them a message. Eid Mubarak, Happy New Year, and all that. Follow up is another important thing.
Right.
That how you are in follow up with your networks. Trust is number one. Of course, how you are building the trust, and then once that trust is there, how you are sustaining it, and the follow up. One of the major issues with the commercial people today is that they do not follow up.
Mhm.
You receive a lead, you quote a customer, You know that you have a wonderful price which is going out to the customer. It's a proposal which cannot be beaten, and still you don't get the business,
Mhm.
and your competitor gets it because you did not follow up.
Wow.
Yeah,
They
it's
may
a
have
very
been
key
there have been
point.
questions, queries. Yeah, they could not. They had questions, but there were nobody to answer those.
Yeah,
Right.
and one of the things, always stay humble with the customer if he has a small size of business, because you never know when he will become big.
Hmm.
The businesses needs just one deal to hit big.
Right.
In Pakistan, I remember that one of the major global retailers, so every new garment manufacturing house will try to, implement processes through which they can pass the audit of that global customer. Because once you have passed that audit, you will not only get the business of that customer, but you will get the business of other customers as well.
It's like a benchmark, a certification by
Like
itself.
a benchmark. So in today's business where I'm working today, the sales cycle is not of a short term. I just given you an example where the sales cycle went for well over 2 years in closing a deal. So
Mm.
here also, one of the key things is to stay close to your customer,
Mhm.
listen what they are saying, offer solutions, and follow up.
Okay.
Once again, in today's world, for example, building a warehouse, it's not a decision which is of a small investment involvement. You are mobilizing a large sum of money, so you need to have the best solution, and the customer will be investigating everywhere. He will be talking to you, he will be talking to 10 other suppliers who happens to be your competitors. The the basically the 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 win is that how you are following up with your customer, how you are answering his queries, and there will be the same queries which be asked in 10 different manners.
Right.
So you
Yeah,
need to have that product knowledge that you are able to answer your customer. And there, especially where I am working now, the role of the cross-functional teams, that that the engineering team, then we have the regulatory team who basically deals with the government, and then we have a team who deals with the customs. That how you are bringing all these teams together so that they can have a customer-centric approach to answer all the queries and provide the best solution. So once again, say a salesperson, a commercial person is more like a bridge between the
Right.
customer and the organization to provide the solution. So building networks is not rocket science. It's just like what you are implementing at your house will be reflected in your business dealings.
It's a relationship you're building, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a relationship, and it's a sustainable relationship which you are building.
Right. Absolutely.
that's fantastic points you mentioned here, especially business for and of course primarily because this is great. That we
And
talk
that is why, Atif, we are still in touch today.
Yeah.
rightly said.
That's
Yeah,
that's a speaking,
exactly.
credential that you practice that what you just said. You keep in touch and keep relationships and enrich them over time. Absolutely.
Comes
Any
our
more
next
questions,
question.
Atif? Yeah, please.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to go ahead, or
So
you? Yeah.
your
Dine.
your existing company, Logic Point, has been expanding across Saudi Arabia, right? With the Sunny House particularly and the logistics parks. So what do you think if you talk about the strategic priorities for Logic Points and how do you plan to use them?
Okay. So as I mentioned that, LogiPoint is having one of the largest logistics park at Jeddah Islamic Port, spread over more than 1 million square meter, offering solutions in the bonded zone and in the non-bonded area, starting right from the grade A warehousing uh, to the industrial outdoor storage, which in common terms you call open yards or open land. So, LogiPoint has one of the most distinguished set of customers right now to its list. And these are the customers who are there with LogiPoint for a long time. It's not that, I consolidated those customers. Those customers are working with LogiPoint with the previous teams, and now they had been kind enough to keep working with us. And LogiPoint's strategy is very simple, which is in line with the Vision 2030. What Vision 2030 says that, Saudi Arabia will be one of the major world hubs for the international logistics. And when you say international logistics in today's world, when the schedule reliability is always at risk, could be because of the shipping lines, could be because of the political reasons, could be because of the weather conditions, then of course getting the most optimum rate cost solution for storing your goods is not very easily available. So LogiPoint is one of the front players who are going to make sure and who's making sure that Saudi Arabia is going to reach there. So right now, what our planning is, what LogiPoint is planning, that we need to geographically need to diversify. We need to expand into other cities, which is primarily we are looking at right now at Riyadh and in Dammam, which are the primary markets, the biggest markets in Saudi Arabia. And it doesn't, not only the consumer wise, not only for the B2C businesses, but for the B2B businesses as well. And the need for the logistics parks for the quality warehouse facilities are only increasing. So in Jeddah, we are at Jeddah Islamic Port. Then of course we are in Saudi Industrial Area 1, and then in another major industrial area which is called Umrah. And we will be establishing a logistic park there. So what we are moving towards is to provide a world-class infrastructure to our customers where they can come, they can store their goods, they can have their manufacturing facilities, and they can use our facilities to serve their end customers or the other businesses. Of course, with sustainable solutions, and of course with a lot of focus on the quality. Why the quality is important? Because you want to provide your customer with a long-term solution, with a solution which is going to help the customer to grow its business. So LogiPoint strategy is once again to expand into other cities, establish more world-class logistics parks and economic zones, and provide an infrastructure to the customers who are entering into Saudi Arabia with a world-class facility when it comes to manufacturing and trading to help them expand their business base.
Sounds very impressive. And that's what the direction is, right?
Yeah, and see, Saudi Arabia is the biggest market in the Gulf region.
Of course, yeah.
And all the other economic zones or bonded zones outside Saudi Arabia are basically working for the customers who are sending their cargo into Saudi Arabia. And that is why the Saudi Arabia market has a lot of potential. We have seen that not only in Jeddah, in Riyadh also, the demand for quality warehousing and logistics parks, which basically provides you with a variety of services, starting from warehousing to open yards to a commercial strip, and to also labor accommodation. So this is high in demand. And so their LogiPoint is offering various solutions. We basically we provide with a build-to-suit warehousing where we work on a long-term basis with the customer as per his growth plans, that what sort of design or facility he's looking for, considering his growth plans in Saudi Arabia or in the world markets, and then build a facility for them. And there we have built facilities for major 3PL players and for some of the e-commerce players. And then we have the build to demand, which is more like a like a structured warehouse as per the market needs, and it ranges from providing cold chill solutions to the dry and ventilated solutions.
Okay. So the whole range of services
Whole range
and
of
also
services.
solutions. Okay. Wonderful.
And the customer once again can is most welcome to bring his own team and operate it. And
Okay.
if they feel that this is not something where they would like to invest, then LogiPoint is there to serve them as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's good. Okay. So, Ghazanfar Saab, this based on your extensive experience in the global trade network. So, how do you see the future of supply chain management evolving, particularly if we talk about the Middle East side?
See, once again, Middle East is the new Europe.
Yeah.
Middle East is one area which has been growing in a very impressive manner despite the global recession, despite the political pressures, whatever is happening in the other parts of the world. So and Middle East is one region which welcomes the expat community with open arms. So Middle East will definitely emerge as one of the major hubbing solutions or as a major hub ports for the international businesses, ranging from FMCGs to industrial. So Middle East, the supply chain and the shipping side will definitely shine in the coming days more and more. Once we look at Middle East, one of the most promising areas is once again is Saudi Arabia, being the biggest consumer market with a lot of land available. And
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of companies in Pakistan FMCG sector they are shifting sites and establish
yeah,
their own manufacturing facility.
so of course, Expo 2030 is going to take place here. That has been finalized. Let's see, FIFA 2034 will be taking place in
Yeah.
Saudi
Wow.
Arabia. So of course, there's a lot of things which is going to happen in Saudi Arabia, plus of course NEOM and some of the giga projects which the government has introduced. So there is a lot of potential and promising
Yes.
projects which are coming in.
Yeah.
And then if you especially look at the strategic position of Jeddah Islamic Port, that how you can reach out to the African markets, how you can reach out to the European markets.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes an ideal location for you, especially if you need to looking for if you are looking for re-exporting the goods, if you are looking for serving the immediate market, which is Saudi Arabia, and whenever the markets are thriving, and especially the whole of the Middle East. When the markets are thriving, the first thing you need, and Atif, you being a procurement specialist yourself, you understand that, demand forecasting is one of the major challenges always in a growing economy. And then how you are going to deal or store your demand forecast is always a major area which you need to keep looking into. And there, once again, the role of LogiPoint becomes more important. That how we are positioning some of the strategic warehousing facilities for the customers who are entering into the Middle East.
That's
So
so crucial. Yeah. Sorry.
I'll give you an example that right now we are having around 300 to 400 containers stored in our facilities and our industrial outdoor storage. They are just waiting to be re-exported or further forwarded to other destinations, just waiting there to be shipped to their customers whenever they need. The reason being that why these containers have been brought to our facilities is, of course, that they do not have the place in their production facilities, of course. So, and they need to keep producing. And of course,
Right.
then they need an area, a facility which is secure, which is near to the port, right next to the port, and where they can move at a swift level to ship out their cargo.
Yeah.
So such sort of having solutions are gaining importance in the Middle East, not only in Saudi Arabia. Jawza, you have seen Jabal Ali is one of the major ports. Salalah is one of the major having ports. And of course now Jeddah, and then right next to Jeddah is King Abdullah Economic City. So which houses the King Abdullah. So once again, the supply chain industry, the logistics real estate industry is going to see a surge in a positive manner, an upward trend going forward, not only in Middle East but also in Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely, that's the trend we are seeing and like confirmed by you. Just want to add a point here that you would just mention the forecast is the starting point in supply chain, of course, on an evolving basis. And what just mentioned being a hub or gateway between markets and suppliers serves two purposes. Forecast, as we know, no matter how hard you try, you can never be 100% accurate. So like you already need a buffer there.
Well, this is one thing I can tell you, being a salesperson. In my 25 years, I'm always at crossroads with the operations team, with the procurement team. They always need accurate sales numbers, which are never provided, and at the same time, the procurement guys, the same supply is never provided. Whatever sales say, they reduce 20% themselves.
Yeah, so that's a bullwhip effect that we teach our students. And secondly, what I can give is to my team is that 100% sales figure is the one that's already been sold. Actual is 100%. Forecast, you can trust the accuracy that's out on the board. So one thing is the buffer ability. Secondly, to your solution of providing a gateway or a hub location is that it buffers the variability in forecast, which is intrinsic. You just can't get rid of it. Secondly, one of the bigger benefits is that you have the flexibility to redirect the shipments, right?
If you remember that, before the pandemic, before COVID hit us, in 2021, there was a concept in supply chain just in time. So now after post-pandemic, have you heard just in time? It's more like optimized inventory or inventory levels which you need to maintain near to the markets you are serving.
It's a bringing balance.
Yes, the concept was fantastic and it worked really well for a long period of time, especially for the automotive industry. But now it's extremely risky because COVID basically killed the just-in-time concept, and from there your requirement for the grade A sort of warehousing facility came up. That is not only in your country where you are producing, but also in countries where you are serving your customer. You need to have such facilities, whether it could be in a hubbing manner where you are establishing a hub, or you are having a full scale facility to serve your customer in a better manner.
Absolutely, that's a very, very good point. Yeah, you have to run a business, right? Just in time is a means for efficiency and cost saving. Absolute good, excellent targets. But if you don't have product, then that's a different situation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Over to you, Aftab.
Okay, thank you so much. So you answered very good question that I was about to ask about innovations, innovative solutions. Thank you so much for that. That you designing, developing solutions for the logistics, supply chain, and real estate offerings. I would like to ask about your relationship with the clients from that perspective, offering innovative solutions. So your drive to give them the best solutions in terms of facilities and innovation and technology, how has that impacted your relationship with your clients? How do you think that growing relationship, more trust, more long-term sustainability and integration? And an example for that, if you can, please.
So you see that operating as the largest logistic part at Jeddah Islamic Port, which controls around 70% of the traffic which Saudi Arabia receives. There's a lot of expectations from the customers always. It's not only the warehousing solutions which you are providing to them. It's also that how secure the facility is, how their products will be stored, how their products will be shipped out even in the local market or re-exported to the international market. So you need to work very closely with the local authorities in order to ensure that the required solutions are given to the customers. A very small solution example I will basically provide you that one of our key tenants, which is working with us, is basically bringing a lot of pet food in Saudi Arabia. And then they faced an issue with basically that in Saudi Arabia, you need to have certain sort of labeling on a product, which needs to be in Arabic, of course. And this labeling, the quality of labeling is extremely critical because once it's going in the supermarket and once the consumer is coming, if your labeling is not, top notch, then of course there will be an issue for the consumer, and he might leave that product and pick up a competitor's product. So they are just in order to facilitate our tenant, our one of the customer who's with us for the last 10 years. We started the labeling and co-packing services.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we started with the pet food, and now we are doing the labeling and co-packing from the consumer goods to the industrial goods, even to tube lights and some of the electrical products as well.
Wow.
Then another very innovative solution which we reached out. We had around 4,000 automotives stored at basically at customs yard. And the thing is that the automotives yard or open yards, these are for special projects and for the products which you cannot take into the warehouse. So these cars were there, and there had been some differences between the consignee and their shipper. And the authorities basically, requested us, not the customer, the authorities requested us to provide them, this customer, with a solution because we have other cargo which is coming in and we do not have the space.
Wow.
So we offered a solution. We offered our open yards. So we conducted the whole operations, and for those 4,000 cars to be transported into our yard, those were stored there so that the other yard at the port, which was very near to the Ro-Ro berth, it can start working again for the new shipments.
Wow.
So these automotives were stored with us for around 6 months. And then they basically, some of them re-exported, and then some of them were supplied to the local market.
Wow.
Then, of course, there are solutions which are this labeling and co-packing solution also. This was one of the requests which we received from the local authorities that, the labeling, especially the Saudi labeling, especially in the Arabic language, how we can ensure the accuracy and how we can ensure that it is as per the Saudi Arabia rules and regulations.
Yeah.
And and there we basically, our teams came forward, LogicPoint teams came forward, and we provided this solution. And now this is a full-fledged service which we provide to our customers.
So a customer need becomes like another business venue for you to offer a service. Excellent.
Absolutely. So, once again, being one of the largest operators at the Jeddah Islamic Port, there are expectations not only from the customers but from the local government authorities as well, that where they are when they face any issues with increasing any facility of logistics, LogicPoint is the first one they approach to.
Yeah, with such a big footprint, such a big facility, and ability to help, like to decongest the whole port. That's a great ability.
And it basically makes our life easier the commercial team life easier to be associated with such a strong brand.
Yes.
So
Oh, yeah.
which the customer and the authorities trust equally.
Definitely.
Yeah, so Ghazanfar Saab, the sustainability has been a very key and hot issue nowadays, last couple of years
Yes.
actually. So, what do you think that as a logic point, how you are addressing sustainability in logistics and real estate solutions?
See, sustainability is here to stay. Is sustainability with the time will only become more and more important. It's a major part of our strategy going forward. It's part of our values that we are committed as LogiPoint to provide greener and align the solutions in our warehouses which are sustainable. Solar panels are one which we are working actively. We are in our construction. We are using materials. We are using engineering techniques which are sustainable and long-term in nature. We are actively working in recycling the materials, especially water, in order to make sure that our solutions and our warehouses are sustainable and long-term in nature. We are looking that the opportunities that we get to make the areas look more eco-friendly, to more greener with plantation. So there are a number of initiatives which we have taken in our logistics parks and in our warehouses, which are more sustainable in nature, and we are and especially in taking these initiatives, because once again there's a level of cost which is involved. But once again, these measures are critical to ensure that the environment is safe, the environment is getting better for the customers to operate and for us to operate. So sustainability is not only one of the major strategic direction which we have taken, but also it's one of the part of our values as well. So once again, in all our facilities, the recycling is one of the major things which we are using. Then, of course, smart transportation solutions which we are providing to our customers. Then we are going more and more towards the electric side. In our warehouses, all warehouses, not only the solar panel is becoming one of the routine things in most of the facilities. So that is coming. And then recycling for the wooden pallets, for the water. That is one of the major things, and providing a green area, planting more and more trees around the facilities, how make it more environmental friendly. So these are all one of the top priorities for us in any facility which we are providing to our customers today. Like LED lights has taken over in all the facilities. Once again, just to make it more sustainable. So sustainability is one thing which is going to stay, and this will be one of the major areas for the customer to make their final choices of the service provider. Sustainability, there is a score now attached with your vendor performance score these days with most of the global organizations. So sustainability is definitely here to stay. And as I mentioned that, it's not only a priority for us, it's part of our values as well.
That's great. That's
Wow.
What do you have, Aftab, if you have any questions?
No, I think sorry. Like you said, the major area of sustainability, recycling, reusing, and reducing the use, especially water, packaging materials, like operation of your size can churn out tons and tons upon tons of materials. And if you are, like you said, you are taking the steps, it can have a huge impact on improving sustainability Energy, of course. Saudi is rich with nature's best resource for energy, that's the sunlight. I mean, to harness that, that's what you're doing. I mean, really amazing. And the LED lights. So all that thing they are doing definitely will have a long-lasting impact of improving the environment sustainability, I would say.
And where we live, I mean, Jeddah has a plenty of sun,
Yeah,
which remains there almost 364 days a year.
exactly. Yeah,
We
yeah,
hardly have the overcasted or the cloudy days.
yeah.
So
So yeah, I mean, really, that's the blessing, because all energy is due to the heat. Fossil fuels because of heat, uh, electricity because of that, though the rivers that flow, hydroelectric, all the sources always the heat coming from the sun for the earth, right? You have
yes,
direct, you have with no intermediate in between, just sun and the earth. That's KSA, right?
absolutely.
So we have the technology to, because the photo light cells, we can convert that directly into energy. And what else do we need? That's amazing.
And see, this is for all the businesses, especially in supply chain. If you look at shipping lines, the transportation companies, the airliners, the alternate fuel which they are looking for, then of course you never know the electric vessels we start seeing very soon.
Right.
So the world is changing, of course.
Just changing. It just reminds me of the situation like 30 years ago, when there was a panic in the world that the oil reserve are coming to an end. And
Yes,
the known resources are going to end in 25 years, and there'll be a cliff. But you see, uh, because of the developments in automobile technology, a small car used to run at 13 miles per gallon. Today, as biggest SUV can run on 13 miles per gallon. And also the exploration and switch to other alternative resources, solar, for example, nuclear, where you can, and all that. So we are not running out of oil anytime soon. We will continue.
and I can tell you it's economical as well. I'm driving a hybrid in Jeddah.
Wow.
And trust me, I really enjoyed when I go to the fuel station, get it fully. It's part hybrid. I get the fuel tank full, and then I forget about it. And when I will be going to the fuel station, so
Imagine.
it's a blessing.
It is, definitely. All the good things in the right direction. Excellent. I have no words to thank you, Ghazanfar, for your extremely well articulated and loaded with information, knowledge, for answering our questions for the sake of our students and alumni and our peer group. And we look forward to having you again on board, especially like Atif mentioned, with our panel discussions, to further gain from your insights.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Aftab and Mr. Atif. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you once again. Really appreciate the opportunity, and always available at your disposal for whatever your assistance you need.
Thank you again. I
Thank you
will
once
stay in
again.
touch.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Assalamu
Thank you
alaikum.
very much.
Assalamu
Thank
alaikum.
you. God bless.